Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and access to daily news digests from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post, as well as guided meditation programs. Between a full-time job in IT and a full-time job in podcasting, it gets harder and harder to sit down and read the books I'm interested in. This is where Audible comes in. I can listen on my daily commute, relaxing, or while out running errands and still get in the books I've been wanting to get into. You can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. Now you can try Audible risk-free with a special 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/Nerdery and Murdery. That's audibletrial.com/Nerdery and Murdery. Don't let your busy life get in the way of that great book you've been wanting to read. Go get your free trial of Audible today. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is Geoffrey, and we've talked about many times before that I experience problems and struggles with my mental health, and really without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy does work. It's helped for me, but what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships at work, or you're not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's really time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles, and it's time to start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And there's a special offer to Nerdery and Murdery listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/Nerdery and Murdery. That's betterhelp.com/Nerdery and Murdery. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
Look at Whitney Houston! Whitney Houston! They didn't put Howard Jones in this list. And they put in fucking Whitney fucking Houston. Ah!
Welcome to episode 163 of Nerdery and Murdery.
Big 163. I'm Zig with your Nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your Murdery. Welcome to another week of the highs and lows and the ups and downs, the good and the bad, and the nerd and the murd. We have in the house with us once again Mike from Two Geeks and a Microphone and his wife Brenda.
Yay!
Awesome. Love having y'all as guests. It was a really good episode last time when we did the Rolling Stone worst of the 80s. And I think Zig is going to take us over for a part 2 session of this. And Zig, I'll let you take it over on the nerdery side of the house.
Sweet. Today we're going to talk about Rolling Stone's best of the 80s.
It was a good discussion for our last episode. I think we're going to have a lively discussion for this one as well.
Oh, you think?
Be prepared. It will probably go long as the last one did as well, but it's been great conversation. And it's really interesting to hear everybody's viewpoint on this. And I can't wait to talk about this list. So Zig, take it away.
Let's start with number one. Number one, The Smiths. There is a light that never goes out.
Hold on. Back up. Back up. You're starting with number 10.
Oh, that's sorry. Number 10.
Yes.
Right. The Smiths. There is a light that never goes out. I agree. There should be a Smith song in this conversation,
but not this one.
No, I agree.
Not this one.
It's a good song.
How soon is now? How soon is now should have been here.
Oh, definitely. I mean, There's some I might have picked over How Soon Is Now, but most of them are like 1A and 1B. How Soon Is Now? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this list already starts off on a bad note because this is not even their best song.
No,
I'd never heard of this song.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
I've never either.
did you you listen to the list beforehand, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
multiple times.
What'd you think?
Most of it sucks.
And if a double decker balls.
Go listen to the Smiths' How Soon Is Now. It's a great song. That
The
is a
funny
great
thing
song.
is about the fact that they put the Smiths on here. I really didn't know who the Smiths were. I mean, I'd heard the name, but I don't think I've ever heard a Smith song to save my life. And the funny thing is, Brenda likes to watch the React channel on YouTube, and they do react to music and stuff. And the other day she was watching one, and they played Queen, and so you have somebody from an older generation and somebody from the younger generation, and they're asking, do you know the song and do you know the band and so on and so forth. And they're playing Queen, right? And this girl goes, oh, I know this is the Smiths. And I'm sitting there going, how in the hell do you confuse the Smiths, or how in the hell do you confuse anybody with Queen?
Well,
what?
It's the plink-a-plink guitars, man. That's what it is.
While I don't agree with this song, here's why the Smiths belong in a top 10 of the 80s is the Smiths for alternative 80s were huge.
Oh
huge,
my God, yeah.
and continue to be so to this day. Go listen to How Soon Is Now. That's the song that should have been here. It's a great song. I just didn't understand this one.
You guys may know the song. It's I am human and I need to be loved just like everybody else does. It's the opening to Charms, only it's not by the Smiths. It's by Love Spit Love.
Yeah, it's not ringing a bell.
Didn't know that.
The series Charmed, yeah.
You might know How Soon Is Now if you heard it. I bet you've probably heard it before and just didn't know it was the Smiths.
No, that's very possible.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had heard the name, the Smiths. I knew the name.
Yeah, because for all 80s, they're huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
So this list already starts off wrong.
I think being Midwest and you guys being Texas, and I don't know, I think we had some different.
No. I wasn't introduced into the Smiths until he and I met.
Yeah.
Well, now that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. No, it was not in my wheelhouse because I wasn't familiar with the alt 80s music, and the only alt 80s I heard was if it cracked into pop, such as New Order, who cracked into pop, and so I knew them. But the Smiths I never knew about, but they have some very good music.
Gotcha.
Very good music. This just not this song. This is a good song. It's a wrong fit here. It's the wrong fit. Wrong fit.
You could have picked any other Smith songs, and he's right about How Soon Is Now. But there's a couple others I would argue, but basically it's semantics at this point. The Smiths need to be in here. This isn't necessarily the one I would put in. It's catchy. It's not a bad song. It's a good song.
It's good that
do anything bad.
And it's good that they put the Smiths in here because, as I said, they were so big in the alt 80s scene. It's good that we've got a Smiths song in here amidst this sea of pop that they did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, okay. So if you were listening to music after, say, 1993, 1994, every rock band out there had a song that was inspired by a Smiths song. That's how groundbreaking they are. You had the Smiths and REM. There's not an REM song in this list. Damn it.
Which is wrong. It's wrong.
There's not a metal song. Okay, no, that's not true. There is a metal song.
Well, there is a metal song, and I got words about that one too.
All right. The next song is Kate Bush's "Running Up That Hill." Again, love this song. The reason they put this in was because of Stranger Things.
Really?
No.
The reason they put Kate Bush's "Running Up That Hill" in this list is because of Stranger Things.
I disagree.
We were
the last season. It kept playing.
The last season, it played over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah. This is a brilliant song.
Oh yeah, it is.
Absolutely belongs in this list.
Yes.
Absolutely belongs in this list. This is her best song. It's a wonderful song. I
It
listen
is a
to it
wonderful song.
all the time to this day.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song, and it belongs in this list. This one hit the mark.
Okay. I would say that the reason it made this list is because of Stranger Things. Because I don't think anybody was thinking about this song until then. Well, except for us.
I'm still not thinking about this song.
You don't like Running Up That Hill?
No, I didn't care for it.
When the redheaded girl is listening to her headphones, this is the song she's listening to.
Is that the song?
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Yeah.
Running up that hill.
Okay. It still doesn't do anything for me. I love Stranger Things. Stranger Things is a fantastic series. And it does have some good music in it and a lot of 80s throwbacks, and I love it for that. But yeah, this song just isn't one of them. I'm sorry.
I do not think it hit the list because of Stranger Things. I really don't. Stranger Things brought it into a new light.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it's why it made this list, because I think this song is brilliant. I think this song is absolutely brilliant, and
it is. I agree.
It belongs on this list.
There's another song, well, not just by Kate Bush, that I would also like to see in this list.
I will only let you be right, Jeff, because it's your podcast.
There is a song by Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel that also belongs in this list.
Don't give up. Absolutely. That's another thing about this list.
It will make you weep.
That's another thing about this list. So I'll give a spoiler because it's not in this list. How in the hell does In Your Eyes not make this list?
In Your Eyes.
Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes.
I have no answer to you. I have no answer because it's not. Okay, granted, the list can't be 20 songs long.
No, it can't. But
they put in Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But yes, no, I agree with Zig. Don't give up.
I got a feeling we're gonna fight on this one.
Don't Give Up with Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush is a beautiful song. Absolutely.
See, when I think Peter Gabriel, all I think is Sledgehammer, and I do love
the same album.
Okay.
It's on the same album. And if you're familiar with Sledgehammer and Big Time, you're not getting. Those are great songs. I love those songs.
Those aren't the best songs on that album.
No, not even by far. You're not getting the real heart of Peter Gabriel.
But Jeff, are you a Peter Gabriel Genesis guy, or are you a Phil Collins Genesis guy?
Both.
Yeah,
okay.
Both.
All right, fair.
I'm a huge
Phil
Genesis
Collins
fan. I'm a huge Genesis fan.
I love Genesis. And
should be on this list.
Yes, Genesis should be on this list.
There should have been a Genesis.
Land of Confusion is not on this list.
Phil Collins should be on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Every fifth song on the radio was a Phil Collins song between 1983 and 1987.
So
In the Air at Night, that should be on this list.
Great song.
Yeah.
So when it was Peter Gabriel Genesis, Peter Gabriel started wanting to do these very big productions for their concerts, the very, lavish sets and huge production value and stories. And so he wanted to do that. Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford are like, we just want to get out and play. we don't want to do these huge productions. And that caused a rift between them. And so Peter Gabriel said, well, we're friends, we're buds, we'll always be friends. I'm going to leave. I'm going off on my own. So he did. And if you ever see a Peter Gabriel show, they're big, huge productions. When I went to go see This Is Us.
The Us
or,
tour.
or Us, yeah, the Us tour. He spent $1 million on the production alone.
Wow.
For the set and everything. But anyway, so Peter Gabriel leaves the group. Mike Rutherford and Tony Banks still want to continue on. And they're like, what are we going to do? We need a singer. And Mike Rutherford's like, well, I sing, but I can't do the Genesis sound. I've got my own stuff, which Mike and the Mechanics.
Mike and the Mechanics, yeah.
Tony Banks was the same. He also had a side band that he did. So they started auditioning singers. And they'd get people in. It's just not the sound. It's just not the sound. It's just not the sound. Well, their drummer came forward one day and said, "You do know I can sing, right?"
Well, and he'd been doing the backup the whole time.
And he'd been doing the backup the whole time, and they're like, "Okay, we need to listen to this." And that was Phil Collins, because he was the drummer. They were all
Right.
friends from school.
Sure.
And Phil Collins was the drummer, and he became the lead singer, and then the story was born.
And then there
Okay,
were
and then he
three.
did Abacab, and everybody
And then
was
there
like,
were
"Holy
three.
shit."
And then there were three. That's exactly why the name of that album.
Yep.
They had a very interesting album.
And Abacab's an awesome
Abacab
song.
that's a great one. They had a very interesting album come out when Phil Collins left, called Calling All Stations.
Calling All Stations.
It was actually
I actually
decent.
enjoy that album.
Yeah, there was some good stuff on Calling All Stations, and I don't remember who the singer was, but it wasn't Phil Collins. He left.
I think he's a Scottish guy.
Maybe.
Man, I cannot remember his name. And yeah, I remember that album came out, and I liked it. It was it was a little different sound for Genesis. It was a little heavier, actually.
But it was still the Genesis sound.
Right, but it was still the Genesis. Yes. I mean, there was that electronic beat still, and yeah, I thought it was a good album.
Yeah, Calling All Stations was good. So
I prefer Phil.
and I like Phil Collins. Phil Collins puts on a great show too.
Ray Wilson, yes, thank you.
Ray Wilson,
exactly.
Thank you.
You're playing Tito for us. Thank you.
I looked it up.
So anyway, that it takes us back to the list, because Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush did Don't Give Up on one of his albums. Running Up That Hill is to me a great album, and I think it belongs in this list. It's a beautiful song. I love this song. I listen to it all the time. It's in my golf course list. I listen to it.
Wow.
Well, I agree with you. It should be in this list. I think the only reason they put it in was because of Stranger Things. I agree with you that it should be in the list, but I think they put it in because of Stranger Things.
I would not have put it in this list. I'm sorry. Just wouldn't have.
The next song is Duran Duran's Hungry Like the Wolf.
Wrong song.
I
disagree. This song, I remember it being played all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Humongous hit. And I'm not even a Duran Duran fan, and I love this song. This song is fantastic.
It is a fantastic song. I think this is the wrong Duran Duran song to be in here. I think Duran Duran is a great group. I think they're easily in the top 10 artists of the 80s, but I would go with Rio or even the Reflex. I might even go with the Reflex over Hungry Like the Wolf.
Save a Prayer.
Save a Prayer. Save a Prayer is a wonderful, wonderful song. Even View to a Kill. They made a Bond movie.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty good tune.
But see, when you say Duran Duran, this is the first song that comes to my mind.
And that's for a lot of people. That's for a lot of people. They're going to go to this, but I think they have better songs. I think this is a good placement for an artist. And I don't think this is a bad song at all, because I do like this song. I just personally think this was the wrong song for the top 10.
I disagree with you. I think for an 80s top 10, being the fact that Duran Duran was as big as they were, and anytime anyone says Duran Duran, this is the song that comes to my mind. I think this belongs on this list. This is one of the few I actually agree with.
Okay. The next song is Our Lips Are Sealed by the Go-Go's.
Wrong song.
Thank you. Wrong song.
Yeah.
Wrong. Go-Go's belong in this list as the band. This is the wrong song.
Agreed.
Okay. Are we thinking about the same song?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I'm saying it's anyway. No, I'm thinking that Our Lips Are Sealed now. I can't get Our Lips Are Sealed out of my head.
We Got the Beat.
We Got the Beat is a better song.
Yes. We Got the Beat. Agreed. I was actually thinking the one that later. Been running so long because my mind keeps up. And I can't remember the name of the song.
I agree with Jeff. It's We Got the Beat.
Yeah.
That's the one that should be on this.
Head over heels. Head Over Heels.
Head Over
I think
Heels
it's-
is a very good song. The Go-Go's have good music. They really
Yeah.
do.
This is not a bad song.
And the Go-Go's belong in a top 10 of the 80s for sure. This is just the wrong song.
Right.
This was not the right song to be in this list. I would much rather go, We Got the Beat.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not a huge Go-Go's fan, but and I do like this song. This is a good song.
Mhm.
Yes.
Not denying that one bit. But We Got the Beat. Again, you think Go-Go's, that's the song, you know,
Yep.
and that's where that's.
Well, you know, this was also a hit in England by a different band.
Oh,
I
really?
Yeah, Terry Hall of the Specials and Fun Boy 3. He and Jane Wiedlin had basically this big romance all across England when they were touring over there, and they wrote this song together. So Fun Boy 3 released a version of it, and so did the Go-Go's.
Interesting.
Yep. The Go-Go's version is better, but the Fun Boy 3 version is not bad. But yeah, the lead singer of the Specials. What you talking about, Rudy? That guy.
Do you have any notes on this one, Brenda?
No,
Brenda?
that's what I talked. We Got the Beat.
Yeah, We Get the Beat.
Bangles also. To me, the Bangles
Uh-huh.
and the
And I
Go-
think, I think the Bangles belong in this list.
Walk Like an Egyptian.
yes. Well,
See,
Hazy Shade of Winter.
that's the one I would go with. I think
I
Hazy
would go
Shade
with
of Winter is a much better song. They're both good songs. Hazy Shade of Winter is a brilliant song.
Is it much more better?
much more better?
It's much more better.
Drink. For those of you that don't know, that's the cue on Two Geeks and a Microphone, their podcast. When they say much more better, you have to take a drink. That's
Damn it.
Two Geeks and a Microphone at your favorite podcast near you.
yes.
Yes, and what he said was much more better.
Right. Because we like to use good grammar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to give them such a hard time, and it's them.
It's my favorite. I drink every time they say it.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too.
That's good to know. Oh, recording stopped.
What happened?
We're good. We're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I heard
Every-
recording stopped.
Everything froze for 1 second, so we're good to go.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
The next song in this list is
I was gonna say, man, we lost.
Nope. We're good.
All right.
okay. The next song on this list is Whitney Houston. How will I know? This song belongs.
How
in the
will
other
I
list.
know why this is in this list?
Hey, good point. I don't like anything by her. I really don't. She's like Madonna. She's just pop trash.
I appreciate
What?
her.
Whoa, go back to what you just said.
She's just like Madonna. She's pop trash.
Madonna is not pop trash.
Madonna is pop trash.
Madonna is
and
not
so is
pop
Whitney
trash.
Houston.
I appreciate her. I just think she's overrated.
I agree.
Sometimes
I agree.
I agree on Whitney Houston. I think she's extremely overrated. She's a brilliant singer. She's
Yes.
got chops. She can sing. I
No,
hate her. I hate her music.
I just
I hate her music.
I'm with you.
And
every music's like those competition shows, somebody has to sing a Whitney song.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I know why she's in the
It's not a Whitney song. It's a Dolly Parton song. I'm sorry.
some.
Yeah.
She's in this list because she was one of the biggest artists of the 80s. You
I
can't
understand
deny
that.
that. She was.
Yes.
She was one of the biggest money makers of the 80s.
Yes.
But I
Doesn't
don't
make it a
think
good song,
It
though.
doesn't make it a good song. It does not make it a good
Nope.
song. They put it in here because she was huge.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
were some of the songs in the worst list.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, I am not a Whitney Houston fan. I never
I'm not.
was. I never will be. One of her songs came on the radio. Switch. I'm done. Go on to the next one.
I totally agree with
terrible.
what you just said. I can appreciate her placement in pop, history,
pop history, yes.
culture.
Yes.
I'm the same way with the Beatles. Okay. Beatles is known as the, biggest band ever and, all this stuff. I'm not a Beatles fan. I don't care
Nope.
for many Beatles songs.
You're all right.
Right.
You're all
They're
right.
right. But I don't.
thought the cartoon was funny.
Yeah. They're all right. The movies
But I
were
don't
okay.
find them the musical geniuses that everybody claims they are, you know? And I respect their placement in rock and roll history. You know, I respect that, but I don't care for them. And I feel the same way about Whitney Houston. I respect her placement in pop history and pop music, but I just don't like her stuff.
Her music's trash. Her music's trash. It's okay. I mean, I guess, but I'm not going to listen to it.
No, I'm not either.
Dude, you know, and I'm also looking at this list and I'm thinking, oh, they were trying to be PC here. They're trying to put in artists of color. I would venture to say the Gap Band would be
I love
better group to put in here.
Yeah.
Gap Band's good.
I can think of 3 songs by them that I would put in here. Burn Rubber on Me, Gotta Get Up Early in the Morning, and Drop the Bomb on Me.
I love
Drop
that
the
one.
Bomb on
Any
Me.
those are all
That's a
recorded in the
great
80s.
song.
Heck, I
Any
even
3 of
the
those songs.
Jets.
Oh, no.
The
Yeah.
Jets. I like the Jets.
The Jet. You know what? We discussed the Jets when we were talking about the Minneapolis sound recently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Anybody from the
Yeah.
Andre Simone. Yeah, again, I can think of dozens of other people. Again, Howard Jones isn't in this fucking list. Why
Yeah,
is Howard Jones not in this
I know.
list?
I've got him on my list of ones we've missed.
Dude, no one is to blame.
Right. One of the greatest songs ever.
I don't know if I can go with that,
Oh,
but
No one is to blame is beautiful.
I will 100% go with you on the Whitney thing. 100%.
The next song in our list is Public Enemy, Bring the Noise. Not just
Okay.
Public Enemy, it's Public Enemy,
Enemy and Anthrax.
Anthrax.
Yes. Great song.
Yeah.
I love this song. It is fantastic. But to say this is a best of the 80s, if you're going to take a rap rock combo,
Mhm.
the one you have to go with is Aerosmith and Run DMC Walk This Way.
Yeah. If you got to put a combo in there, that's the one you pick.
Right.
Yes.
And again, there's nothing wrong with this song. It's a great song. But this is not, I would not put the man when Aerosmith and Run DMC, when that video came on, you stopped what you were doing and you watched it, you know?
Yeah, it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it had so much impact. It put Aerosmith back in the limelight because Aerosmith was almost dead by that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, they hit superstardom. They were one of the biggest bands of the 80s because of that particular song. And Run DMC was probably the biggest rap act at that time.
At that time, yes.
Right. So I don't know how you pick this song over Walk This Way.
Yeah.
That's beyond me. I don't.
Yeah. If
Agreed.
you're gonna pick a rap rock song, why not pick that song? I get it.
Right.
And if you're gonna go if you're just going with Public Enemy, Fight the Power. Fight the Power by Public Enemy is anthemic. And it was made at the end of the 80s. 1989 is the first line of that song.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's just screaming. Marching down the street in Brooklyn. It is awesome.
See, and if I'm going to put a rap band on here, I'm
Mhm.
actually going to put Beastie Boys.
You put the Beastie Boys on there? Yeah, Beastie Boys. Why not the Beastie Boys?
Fight for Your Rights.
Or dude, Paid in Full by Eric B. and Rakim. Dude. Okay. So Geoffrey, what do you think about Public Enemy and Anthrax bringing the
I agree. I think I think Walk This Way. If we've got to put in this
rock and rap
style, Walk This Way goes in here before this
easily.
one does.
Easily.
I I just didn't see this one as making this list. It didn't make any sense to me.
Well, not only when I saw this, I had to go look it up. I didn't realize it was released. I thought this was released in the 90s. Yeah, apparently it was, again, 1989.
I'm actually right there with you. I couldn't remember when it was released either. And I have side B's, by the way. What is it? The Killer Bees, whatever. I have the album.
Nice.
That this was on. Because I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of good songs on that. It's all B-sides of Anthrax songs, and it's a good record. But again, it just doesn't belong in this list.
No. Okay. The most 80s song that I know of is "What Do All the People Know" by the Monroes. It was like a one-hit wonder, and it wasn't that big of a hit at the time. If you guys go back and listen to it, it is the most 80s song you will ever hear. Geoffrey disagrees with me. He thinks it was a ripoff of other stuff
100%.
Going on at the time.
100%.
Except that they recorded it in 1981 before that other stuff came out.
I'll just have to take your word for it. I don't know this song.
But the fact that it's not on this list.
Zig, you come up with a lot of music I don't know.
Can you guys see this vein on the top of my forehead? This makes me so mad. This makes me more mad than the worst, because it's like, okay, I could conceivably see that someone really, really hates this song and they want to see it as the worst, but oh my God. And the next one, and I'm gonna get hate mail for this. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. I'm sorry, Michael Jackson's not that great.
Oh,
that's right. I said it. And I'll go even better. If you're gonna do a Michael Jackson album, Off the Wall is better than Thriller. Thriller just got more airplay.
No.
Because of Quincy Jones.
No. Come on. Off the Wall's better than Thriller?
Yes, Off the Wall is better than Thriller.
I'm going to have to fight you. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Our friend Keith has said this many times, because there's a lot of people that hate Michael Jackson because of his personal life. You have to be able to separate the artist from the art. And Michael Jackson had some brilliant songs.
Agreed.
Michael Jackson belongs in a top 10 list for the 80s, because for a portion of the 80s, he was the 80s.
He was the king of pop.
I just don't think Billie Jean is the best.
Okay. All right. This is where we're going to disagree. Because when I first heard this, and I saw this on the list, and I said, wait a minute, Billie Jean, over Beat It, over Thriller. But then I thought about it more, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. If you think about it, this is the song that defined Michael Jackson as a solo artist. Michael Jackson, because of this song, became Michael Jackson. Because he came out in, I don't remember what the music awards was, could have been the Grammys. I don't remember what it was.
He moonwalked. Singing this song.
It's the song that he moonwalked to. Everyone lost their freaking minds.
Yes. Yeah.
And this became like the biggest hit, and so with that alone, and you have that imagery, you put that imagery in your head. I agree with this song. When I first saw the list, I said, no. Beat It and Thriller are better songs. But when you go back and you think about what this song meant to Michael Jackson, I think it wholeheartedly belongs on here.
I could agree with that. I've been swayed.
Yeah.
I will say, Billie Jean is a smooth groove.
It is. It's a great song. And the video is really good, too.
Yes, it is.
Like the video.
It is. But I mean, it's
video.
It's Billie Jean by Quincy Jones. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's Quincy Jones is what made that song. And nothing to do with Michael Jackson. He was just a voice singing the song.
Right.
He could have got anybody.
And he was the voice singing the song. That's the thing.
But I'm saying it could have been any other voice.
No, I disagree.
You stop hearing Michael Jackson's voice after Off the Wall. The voice you're hearing is Quincy Jones's.
I don't even know his song off the Wall.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Come on.
I know every song on Thriller.
Don't stop but together.
Okay, that
Yes.
song I know.
So Michael Jackson performed Billie Jean on the TV special Motown 25.
There you
That's
go.
what it was.
And forever.
There you go.
And that's what he did the thing. And then right after that, he went and did the thing with Pepsi, and his hair caught on fire.
Well,
Yes. Yes.
With
Like 2 weeks later.
Alfonso
right,
Farah.
right. Alfonso did that with him,
Completely.
and
not
then Alfonso gets only known because of the Carlton.
Yes.
Completely not related. I have to go back one episode. Brenda, the Eric Carmen song I was thinking of from Dirty Dancing was "Hungry Eyes."
Oh, okay.
Hungry Eyes is
I
not
know
a,
that
yeah.
song.
Hungry Eyes is okay.
I was looking up something else and I ran
Hungry Eyes
across
is
that
okay.
song. It's that's the one I was thinking of.
Make
So,
Me
sorry.
Lose Control
That
is
song I know.
terrible.
I don't hate Hungry Eyes. I don't.
No,
hate
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't hate Hungry Eyes.
I don't really like it either.
hate- again, with the Burning 5,000 Suns, hate. Turn the radio up song. God, I hate that song. It makes me want to punch a radio.
I still hate the movie though.
Punch a what?
A radio. A speaker. Wherever that song is coming
okay.
from. I want to
Oh,
make
okay.
it stop.
I thought you said reindeer.
No. Why would I want to
It's like,
punch a reindeer?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
I always say
Dirty
it makes me
Da-
angry
Dirty-
enough. I always say it makes me angry enough to punch a koala bear.
Yeah, well, Dirty Dancing makes me want to punch babies. So
Oh,
Wow.
God.
mhm.
Baby koala bears. Baby reindeer. That's
all three.
yes, all the time. God, I hate that
Let's
song.
watch it now.
Not with me or not.
I love that movie.
I hate that movie.
Our daughter won't watch it either. I don't know what's wrong.
Oh, that's because
She
she's
has
my
taste.
girl. She has taste. she also watch Halloween with me too.
Brenda's gonna punch me the next time she sees me.
I'll give you a
She
big-
tried
I'm
to
a
do
little-
that last time, but she didn't actually.
I'm a little. That's right. She gave me a big old hug around my neck.
Yes,
That was
she
sweet.
Yes, they did.
I'm sorry. Oh, I totally derailed that train there.
The thing of it is everybody's allowed their opinion. Some
That's
people
true.
are wrong.
Right?
But, you know, hey,
Not me, but yes.
that's why we have different genres of music.
And I'll allow Jeff to be right on his show.
On my show, right?
You come
It's
over
my
to my
show,
show,
too.
though.
It's my show too.
Yeah,
I
but
can
I'm
be right about Michael
I-
Jackson.
but
That's
I'm
not
more
what
right-
Jeff
I'm-
tells
no,
me.
because I'm more right on the show than you are.
And Zig's like, and my part is first. Oh.
Yes,
Not when they do the wife swap.
that's true.
Nope.
The next song in the list is The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. It was released as a single by the Sugar Hill Records on July 1st, 1982, and was later featured on the group's debut studio album of the same name.
This is a weird song.
Yes.
The Message?
Yes.
It's too slow.
I mean, I don't hate this song.
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
It's weird.
Okay. When I think of a top 10 list of the
This
80s,
song
'cause
doesn't
I
go
was
on it.
well, right. I was, am, will always be a huge 80s fan. I loved the music in the 80s. I loved
Me too.
everything about it.
We all lived it.
If there's a song on this list I'd never even heard before,
You never heard The Message before?
and I'm a
I-
big 80s fan.
I think I've heard it. You see, when I saw it, I was like, what the heck is this?
I didn't recognize it.
And then when I
No.
listened to it, I was like, I think I remember this. But the best thing about this song is the name of the band. The name of the band is just
Grandmaster
awesome.
Flash and the Furious Five?
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that name. That's a fantastic name.
Oh yeah,
Great
They're
name.
Early hip hop and a rap group. Really early, like Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, Africa Bambaataa. You know, these are like the early guys. The problem is they are early guys, and it's too slow.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, if this had been released in 1978, like some of the other early stuff, or 1979, this would have been fine. But it's too slow. Hip hop had already progressed past this point when this album was released.
Gotcha.
So you were already up to like LL Cool J and Run DMC and Eric B and Rakim. Oh my God.
Know, when I listen to this, it actually sounds more 70s.
Exactly. And I think that's
agreed.
the problem that I think they actually were doing this in the late 70s and they just didn't release the album.
That's
Maybe.
possible. That's possible.
It was released in
It just
82.
sounded so 70s to me.
Exactly.
And that's not a bad thing either.
No. For it being a 1970s early hip hop, yeah, this is great. This ain't an 80s song.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
And I can, again, if you got to put hip hop in there, I could think of 3 or 4 songs off the top of my head.
Agreed.
You Be Illin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right off the bat. Paid in Full. Oh no, that was the 90s. I'd say Mr. Window, but that was like 1991. So
Yeah,
that-
think
I
so.
still want
Yeah.
Fight for Your Rights on here, but
Fight for Your Right to
Yeah.
Party,
Yeah.
which is also like a rock rap thing.
Yeah.
Girls.
girl,
Go do the laundry.
Mm,
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a ton of stuff that I would put in here.
Yeah, no.
I Need Love. Going Back to Cali.
Going back to Cali.
Going back to Cali, the 80s or the 90s?
No, I say 80s.
Is
Sure.
it?
Yeah, 87, I think.
Huh.
No, man, I don't think so. Going Back to Cali.
Cali. I don't think so.
No, man, I don't think so.
88.
Wow.
Interesting. Thank you, Tito.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I mean, I agree. This, if you were talking about hip hop, like I've been trying to put together a hip hop list. This is actually in the conversation for that, but I think you're right. I think this is a 70s song. They just released it too late.
Yeah,
No,
I
no.
agree.
We were talking, we think 80s movie soundtracks would be.
I've brought that up before that I think we should definitely
Say Anything, Crush Groove,
cover. Lost Boys.
Lost Boys,
Oh, Lost
Oh.
Boys.
anything by
Lost-
John Hughes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
anything.
Speaking of that-
It doesn't matter.
Speaking of that, they have the Breakfast Club reunion on. What did I watch it on? I don't
YouTube.
remember.
Well, there's a
Bratz.
show, Bratz. I was going to say
Yeah, I
Bratz
haven't
is on
seen that yet, but-
Hulu.
Oh my God!
I think
Uh,
hosted by
I
Andrew
watched that.
McCarthy.
Yeah, Andrew McCarthy wrote and directed it, and I have to say, after watching it,
Oh, the Brat Pack.
Andrew McCarthy is
I was
a
waiting.
taller version of Trey Cadenhead, who's also been on our show. I did not realize that at the time, but when Andrew McCarthy is talking, I'm like, oh my God, it's Trey. And also,
Oh my.
Trey, I'm gonna throw you out there. Trey Cadenhead is also probably one of the most gifted actors I've ever seen work close up. But he got away from it back many moons ago. But he is gifted.
I said this to Zig on the show, but I'll tell you because this is so funny to me. Chelsea and I are watching Boston Legal, which was a brilliant show. But what's funny is James Spader, his character on Boston Legal, both Chelsea and I agree, is the grown-up version of Steph from Pretty in Pink.
Yes, he is Steph all grown up.
He is Steph all grown up.
That's funny.
You know, he came out with that show several years back. What was it? The Blacklist.
Blacklist. He's
And-
brilliant in
and-
it.
Well, oh gosh, I was so excited because I like James Spader. I think he's a great actor. And I thought the show sounded intriguing. I watched one episode and I just could not. Well, I watched I think two episodes, and I just couldn't get into it. I was so disappointed.
Watch Boston Legal. Him and William Shatner are phenomenal in this show.
My favorite thing with him would be Wolf. With him and Jack,
with Nicholson.
and
yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Of course, Jack Nicholson's one of my all-time
Yeah.
favorite actors too. So, Wolf is a fantastic movie. I'm marking my territory.
Yeah, that's great. Right.
The next song in the list, and I'm gonna get hate mail for this. Madonna, Like a Prayer, and
You don't like it.
no, actually, I don't like Madonna.
This is
Right.
not the song.
It's not the song. Madonna belongs in this list.
I
Madonna is an
disagree. I think
icon.
Madonna,
Madonna is an icon from the 80s.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
Madonna rides
What song?
waves.
What song?
I think Like a Virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Virgin could go in here. La Isla Bonita could go in here. I would think probably between those
Vogue?
two.
Vogue
was late. I think
Yeah, I think Vogue
Was Vogue?
later.
Vogue made.
It was
Let's see.
1990.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, because it was Vogue, and then she came out with Erotica.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too long after.
I'm going to tell you
that.
why I think Like a Virgin over Like a Prayer. Like a Virgin is Madonna's Billie Jean to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and I could see
That's
that.
the song that introduced Madonna to the world,
Yes.
and it made Madonna Madonna.
Yes.
You know, without Like a Virgin, you don't have Madonna.
And I
Man,
can't.
I
and
would like to
can't
build a
disagree
time
with that.
machine and convince her not to make that song now.
No, and I can't disagree with that. Madonna belongs in this list. Madonna is an
Yes.
icon, and when my
You
daughter
know what Madonna is? Madonna is the Real Housewives of music.
nah,
I'm not going to disagree with that too much, but
when my daughter was growing up, and Lady Gaga was really getting big. We were watching one of her concerts on some station, I don't remember which, but she was just talking about Lady Gaga and how brilliant a performer and she is on stage and everything. And I said, you need to see a Madonna concert, because Lady Gaga took a lot from Madonna.
Agreed.
Lot from her. Madonna was an icon, was an absolute icon in the 80s. She 100% belongs in a top 10 list. I could agree with Like a Virgin being the song over this one.
Yeah.
Pop trash.
That's the song I would pick.
But yeah, no, it's I would. You have to pick one by Madonna. Yeah, Like a Virgin. Maybe Crazy for You. Maybe.
Now,
Crazy
Jeff,
for You is a good song.
I don't disagree with you too much. I'm not a Madonna fan. I don't like Madonna.
And I am. I am
Okay.
to this day. I actually like some of her more recent stuff. I don't remember the name, if the album is Sorry, but the song Sorry is a great song. I love that song.
And even Like a
love-
Virgin, I'm gonna go to the Weird Al version of it.
Like a Surgeon.
Like a Surgeon is incredible.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie.
She did a beautiful song from League of Their Own. This used to be my playground. Beautiful song. Absolutely.
I'm not going to
beautiful song.
deny that she's not, that she's done some great work. I just don't like Madonna. I don't like her. Period. But she is a huge icon of the 80s.
Yes.
I do agree she belongs on a top 10 80s list, but this isn't the song. It should be Like a Virgin, because I really believe Like a Virgin does for Madonna what Billie Jean did for Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
I can
agree with that.
I can
I
agree
can
with
agree
that.
with that. I still think it.
You still think she's trash?
Pop trash.
You know what? Alice Cooper had a great song called Trash.
Trash. Yes, he did.
Alice. I love Alice.
Me too.
Give me some Alice Cooper.
Be my Frankenstein. Be my
Frankenstein. Yeah.
Love that one. All right, the last song on this list, Prince, and the song is
Wrong song.
Wrong song.
Definitely wrong song.
How in the world? How in the world? How in the world? How the fuck in the world is Purple Rain not the song here?
Purple
I can
Rain.
argue for some other songs, but
Little Red Corvette.
Little Red Corvette.
Thank you. Yes.
1999.
Yes.
Keep going, Brenda.
Red
Red Beret.
Yes.
When
Raspberry
Doves
Beret.
Cry.
Oh, when doves cry.
Cry.
Yes.
They're
Alphabet Street,
So
Erotic
much
City.
better.
this is not the song.
Oh.
No
No,
doubt
this-
Prince
this is
belongs
not
on
a bad
this
song.
list. No,
Oh,
it's
totally
not a bad
agree.
song. Not a bad song. But for this to be the number one song on this list from the 80s, way wrong song. Way wrong song for Prince. We're actually I'd mentioned it to Zig, and I don't know if he's gotten a chance to look at it or not. One of the episodes I want to cover is top 10 guitar solo songs of all time.
Oh, pick me.
Purple, yeah, we can bring you back for that. Purple Rain is in my list. Purple Rain hits that list.
Oh, okay.
Purple Rain hits that list.
I mean, Prince is he was a fantastic guitarist. He really
Oh
was.
my God.
Incredible.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't know why Kiss is
This is not the song.
It's not the song.
No.
Yeah.
And
And again, not a bad song.
Right.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a bad song at all. It's
But
just
he's
not
got so much more better.
right.
So
Much-
much more better
Much
ones.
more,
Much more better.
ones. Cheers.
I'm not a big fan of the song
Almost out of
Kiss. Honestly,
I'm
For
a
me-
big fan of the band Kiss.
yes. I'll take Bat Dance over Kiss.
Yes.
We talked about
We
that.
had this conversation and I had to re-listen to Bat Dance
Yeah.
because of this conversation.
Yeah, I'll take Bat Dance.
I agree.
Yeah.
I love Bat Dance. It's
Yes.
a fantastic song. Now, I wouldn't say it's best of 80s, but
No.
I love Bat Dance, and for obvious reasons.
This town needs an
an
enema.
enema. Yeah.
But I walked out of frame.
You did walk out of
You
frame.
did.
Yes.
Batman shirt.
Nice. Yes. I mean, 89 Batman is my favorite Batman movie of all time. Michael Keaton.
Really?
Mhm.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right. Michael Keaton to me is the best live action Batman. Kevin Conroy will always be the voice of Batman. Rest in peace, Mr. Conroy. So yeah, and Bat Dance is just such a good song. It's so fun, and it just has all the feels of the Batman movie. So
Mhm. Yeah, it's funny.
But-
You talk about favorite movie of all time. My favorite movie of all time. A lot of people haven't even heard of it. A lot of people haven't even seen it, but it's brilliant. It's well written. It's brilliantly written, and it's Robin Williams at his absolute best.
color me intrigued.
The World According to Garp.
Oh.
The World
Really?
According to Garp is a phenomenal movie.
That
That's
is-
the one.
He is.
That is one Robin
brilliant.
Williams movie I actually have never watched.
Go see it. It's on. I think you get it on. It's either on Amazon Prime or Max.
Wow.
One of the two. It's a long movie.
John Lithgow.
It's very long. Yeah, John
John Lithgow is
Lithgow is
incredible in it.
brilliant in it as a cross-dresser. I'm sorry, Trent. He's not a cross-dresser. He's a transvestite.
Actually, I think he's post-op.
He's
Is he
post-op.
post-op?
You're right. Yes, post-op. Post-op.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And he was an ex-football player.
See, I
Yes.
love Dead Poets Society.
I do too.
Dead Poets Society is good. Give
Seize the day.
World According to Garp
Also.
a watch. Anyway, we strayed away from that.
Well,
Yeah,
now Batman's not my all-time favorite movie. It's my all-time favorite Batman movie.
Yes.
I want to clarify that.
Yes.
Yeah, and because I mean, like for instance, Jack Nicholson has lots of movies that I absolutely
Oh,
love.
Hey, The
Yeah.
Shining is
Shining
Well,
is
The
great.
Shining, and probably my all-time favorite Jack Nicholson film is actually One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
yes.
Such a
Could see that. Could see
oh my
that.
gosh.
So back to the list for a minute. There are several, and I've got a list that I had put together of bands that I didn't understand were not in this list because they had some brilliant music that came out, and I kind of wanted to cover some of them. We talked about a couple. We talked about Genesis. We talked about Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins. How does U2 not make this list?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
How does U2 not make this list? Anywhere in this list. They had one of the biggest albums of all time in Joshua Tree. One of the
And
biggest albums of all time.
you two and Rolling Stone magazine are friendly.
I know. I know.
I think you're
Mo-
right.
Motley Crue is on my list. As huge as they were, how did they not make it into this list? And it's because a lot of this was pop. Zig had mentioned to that. Howard Jones, that Ziggy had mentioned. How is Elton John not on this list?
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. I have
Billy
him.
Joel.
I have him on my list. Rush, In Excess.
Oh, Rush
Well,
never gets props.
You know,
Rush
I know.
never gets props.
Sorry, but Rush should be the entire top 10, but that's just my opinion.
Dude, Be Cool or Be Cast Out. How can that not be about the 80s? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
You know,
Really?
there's just
Yeah.
which one? Who?
Police.
Oh yeah, the Police.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Police fan.
I
My wife is. I'm
But
not.
Roxanne is not in this list. Fuck you.
Janet
I'm
Jackson
sorry.
didn't get noticed.
One of theirs that I really like is Roxanne.
you know,
it's
you
just,
say Roxanne, all I can think is Eddie Murphy.
Roxanne.
Being a bus flipped over 17 times.
But overall, I mean, Zig, did you happen to look? Because I didn't. Did the same author do both lists?
Honestly, after going through that, I didn't. I didn't
I'm
wanna-
just really
assuming
curious.
it's Dave Marsh, because I love to hate on that guy. I don't want to assume it's like Robert Kit Christgau, because if that happened, my illusions would be shattered. It'd be like
Yeah.
me meeting Morrissey. It would hurt my feelings.
I
Personally,
just,
I think they're too high on whatever their drug of choice
Here's
is.
one.
yeah.
John Cougar.
Yeah.
John Cougar.
John Cougar.
Yeah,
And,
John
and you said
Cougar
it
would
properly.
hit just
I
out
don't
of the.
care what name you want to put in there.
That guy needs to be in
guy.
this list.
He would hit just out of the top 10 for me. I like him, but it would, for me, it would just be outside of the top 10.
Okay, well, how about ZZ Top?
I
Yes.
thought about mentioning them as well, because they had some huge hits in the
Mhm.
80s. You know,
Give me all
and
your loving.
Sharp Dressed Man,
Legs.
Sharp Dressed Man,
Legs,
Legs.
Eliminator,
The entire Eliminator album.
yes.
Come on.
Brenda.
Gang.
Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang. Yeah.
Cameo.
There's
All right, let's make it so that this
Celebrate
list
good
better.
times. Come on.
I don't think this list
1982
was
Cardinals, baby.
Yeah, I don't think this list was diverse enough in the different genres that we had in the 80s, and
That's true.
And
I don't think this list was well thought out.
no.
I
Huey
think
Lewis
somebody
and
kind of
News.
threw this. And I loved Huey Lewis and News. I love them, and they were huge. You know, it's just, and you can only have a top 10, so
Right.
some of them are
Right,
going to be
right.
thrown out and everything.
Yeah, but see, there's just
this
most of
this list
is
this
crap.
this list missed the mark.
Pat Benatar.
Oh,
How is Pat Benatar not in this list?
Yeah.
hit me with your best shot.
Take Whitney out, put her in.
Yes. Oh,
There you go.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with that. How do you not have Journey?
Yes.
A lot of people hate on Journey.
You know, Journey was one of the biggest bands of the 80s.
They were.
They were kings of arena rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Foreigner. Another
How is I
king.
not? I want to know what Love Is. Not make this list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that there was an MTV special one time, and they were covering the best music of the 80s, and I Want to Know What Love Is hit the top 10.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that this list missed the mark. I think there were others
Totally.
that really should have been considered in here, and other music from the artists they listed that should have been considered
Yes.
in here instead.
Billy Idol isn't even on here.
Oh, yeah.
Idol was
Right.
big.
Rebel
there's
Yell,
I'm sorry.
White Wedding. Oh, my gosh.
There is not a single punk band
Money,
in
money.
either one of these.
Oh, don't get me
lists.
singing it. Don't get me singing
There's
Money,
what?
Money.
There is not a single punk band in either one of these lists.
Yeah.
Not a
And
single.
punk was
one.
huge in the 80s.
It was.
Yes, it was. It may have been a
was.
little underground, but I mean, Billy Idol was from a punk band.
Right. And Billy Idol was huge.
Huge.
Mhm.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved Billy Idol.
There wasn't a single like carnival, or like when you
Oh.
went to the hometown parades and stuff, and they had that every band that played at least Moni Moni.
Moni Moni.
Mm.
Yeah.
Moni Moni.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, of course you had the chant.
Yes, but we're
Right.
not discussing that.
That's why I said you're gonna get it in my head.
I know.
I've got it in my head now. I know what you're talking
I
about.
know.
You're welcome.
I know it well. I know it well. Well, I think we all agree that that both lists, like I care,
It says like I care.
Like I care.
both lists pretty much missed the mark. I think I think the writer or writers of both these lists, I think they were uncrackable.
Pulled them out of the hat.
Yeah, maybe pulled them out of a hat.
You know what? They got pulled on this, and they were like, "Okay, let's pull out every cliche we could think of, throw them together, and we'll be done."
Yeah.
That's what this
Yeah.
was.
I think they were high on LSD, but
Dirty hippies.
Overall,
Right?
overall, if I'm going to give my overall grade on both these lists, F.
I was gonna say D.
F minus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm with Zig.
Way missed the
F
mark.
minus.
You guys suck.
They did.
I
All
got so
right.
mad about when he said it to me. I got so mad. I was like, "Oh, fuck you!"
Oh, it was so funny when you set this list. We were in Aldi parking lot. We're getting ready to go grocery shopping, and I'm reading through the list. I'm like, this list is bullshit.
This is
This
bullshit.
is total bullshit.
I want to kick somebody's ass.
I hate Rolling Stone magazine. You guys suck. Kerrang was better.
Rolling Stone,
Kerrang
if
was way
you
better.
wish to be a sponsor on this show,
Yes, please sponsor us.
You suck, but we'll
please
take
sponsor
your
us.
money.
You suck.
And by the way, fuck you and your mother.
Oh, all right. Good times. Well, with that, I think we will step over to the murdery side of the house.
Murder.
For today, I got my information off All That's Interesting, Biography, ABC News, Frank F. Weber, true crime author. It's the second time I've found stuff on his site.
Nice.
New York Times and CBS News. And this is the story of Joel Rifkin.
Joel Rifkin.
It's been a while since I've done a serial killer. I think the last one I did was back in March. Joel Rifkin was dubbed Joel the Ripper, and he terrorized prostitutes in the early 1990s and became the most prolific serial killer in New York history.
Huh.
In 1989, a golfer reached the 7th hole at the Hopewell Valley Golf Club in New Jersey. He noticed something odd in a creek running alongside the course, and it was a paint can, which he opened up, and inside was a severed head.
Ooh.
The head went unidentified for 24 years.
Wow.
Holy shnikes.
Blood testing ended up revealing that the murder victim had been HIV positive, and residents of Hopewell Township soon began to speculate about the victim's identity and their killer. Bryce Olcotun, who was an author who lived in the town, said, quote, as time went on and the head was never claimed, rumors began to circulate and always seemed to end in one of two possibilities. The mafia or a serial killer had done it. Turned out the latter was true. Joel Rifkin, who was a serial killer who lived in Long Island, New York, had murdered a sex worker named Susie in 1989 and then dismembered her body. To conceal his crime, he placed her head in a paint can and left it in the woods of the New Jersey golf course. Susie, whose real name ended up later becoming Heidi Balch, was Rifkin's first victim. But chillingly, the murderer would go on to brutally kill up to 17 women total, most of whom were sex workers, until he was arrested in 1993.
1993.
Yep.
Oh, 89 to 93. I guess that wasn't too bad. Well, I mean,
No, not
Sorry.
terrible, but still a long
yeah,
time.
yeah, a lot of people.
Joel Rifkin was born on January 20th, 1959 to two unmarried college students who gave him up for adoption. 3 weeks later, Bernard and Janine Rifkin adopted him and took him to their home in New York. By 1965, the family, along with another adopted child named Jan, moved to East Meadow, Long Island. And at first, the New York City suburbs seemed like the perfect place to raise children, especially since Bernard Rifkin was making good money as a structural engineer. Joel didn't display the typical signs of a budding murderer. He didn't wet the bed. He didn't torture animals and start fires. Instead, he was a very meek, unassuming child. But unfortunately, he struggled to fit in at school. He had a slumping posture and a very slow gait, and it made him a target for bullies, and his peers frequently excluded him from sports or other activities. He was bullied a lot within school, so they beat him to become a serial killer. He was intelligent, but he struggled academically as he had undiagnosed dyslexia. This ended up becoming a strained relationship with his father, who couldn't understand why his child wasn't getting good grades or socializing. The children at school mercilessly bullied him from kindergarten all the way through high school. Mercilessly. And he tried to make friends by joining the track team in the yearbook club, but nothing he did seemed to work. Instead, his teammates would pick on him. They'd dunk his head in a toilet. They would stuff a dead chicken in his mouth. They'd fill his gym bag with eggs and shaving cream. I mean, it was just torture. And it was like the only people who ever noticed him were the kids who were torturing him. So he began to distance himself from all of his peers. And really, the more inward he had turned, the more troubled his psyche became. Psychologists have theorized that the emotional distance from his father and the bullying may have contributed to his transformation to bloodthirsty killer, which is, like I said, they beat him into becoming a serial killer.
Right.
One of Joel Rifkin's neighbors from New York, Fred Ryder, once said, quote, "In every high school, there's a kid that's the last to get picked. In every high school, there's a kid that doesn't get girls, but they don't go ahead and murder 17 women."
True?
Yes.
That's a true statement.
As Joel Rifkin began developing into adolescence, his resentment manifested into violent sexual fantasies about female classmates who rejected and mocked him. By the time he became an adult, he spent most of his time alone and eventually began developing dark fantasies of raping and killing women. By the time he started classes at Nassau Community College in the late 70s, he'd also become obsessed with visiting sex workers. This soon exploded into full-on addiction, and he would spend all of his money picking up hundreds of sex workers.
They don't say no.
Nope. He would often skip school and his part-time job to spend time with them. And he did try attending other schools, but he continued to struggle in class. Around the mid-1980s, Joel gave up on finishing college. He moved back in with his family because he didn't have much money. And he struggled to find unemployment, and his father died by suicide due to a painful battle with cancer. And so his murderous fantasies began continuing. Forensics expert and former FBI profiler Mark Safaric said, quote, "He would isolate himself and internalize these fantasies without developing strong social constructs. He just turned inward." So in 1989, Joel's violent thoughts came to fruition as he murdered his first victim. That was 25-year-old Manhattan-based sex worker known as Susie, whose real name was Heidi Balch, as we had said earlier. Joel brought Heidi to his family's home while his relatives were away, and he bludgeoned her after they had sex. He actually smashed her head more than 24 times with an artillery shell.
Oh!
A diffused artillery shell,
Yeah.
that is. However, this did not kill her. She tried to get up, and then he strangled her to death before dismembering her corpse in the basement. He then dumped her body parts in various places in New Jersey and New York. And then most famously, he left her head on the Hopewell Valley Golf Club. It was actually on April 8th, 1989, that her legs were found in a creek near Jefferson Township, New Jersey.
No, wait a minute. What year was her head found?
89.
Okay. Because didn't you say her head, they believed had been in the can for...
They didn't
No, they didn't know
identify
who
her
she
for 24
was.
years.
For 24 years.
Right. They found the head immediately, but they didn't identify her for 24 years.
Okay.
Yeah, she was head
Okay.
dough.
Yeah,
So
head dough.
while
or
you're
whatever.
golfing, if you find paint cans,
No, I'm not opening.
Don't
it.
open them.
I'm not opening it. No.
Good safety tip there.
I do love fishing for golf balls, though. Those are free. I think we found 6 out on the golf course today. That's awesome. because they're expensive, man. They ain't cheap.
I gotta find you a cool golf ball.
Well, I do. My sister did give me because you have ball stamp markers. My sister
Yeah.
gave me a Darth Vader one for Christmas,
Nice.
so I can mark Darth Vader's head on all my
You
golf
got a
balls.
Cowboys one too.
I have Cowboys golf balls.
Oh, okay, there you go. Nice. Sorry.
No worries. So again, the head was found just days after the murder, but it wasn't until long after Joel was arrested that anyone else was able to figure out who the victim was, even though that Joel kept telling the police all about Susie. According to ABC News, it took a long forgotten missing persons report from Heidi's aunt, a DNA test from her mother, and a photo comparison between a composite of the head and a picture of her for a positive identification to be made in 2013, which was years after Joel Rifkin would be imprisoned. At the time of the murder, Joel was very happy to get away with it and soon began seeking out more victims. About a year later, he killed another sex worker, Julie Blackbird, while his family was away. The murder was largely similar to the murder of Heidi, but this time Joel avoided dumping any body parts in the woods and instead dumped them in rivers and canals, weighing the remains down with concrete. Soon after this, he started a landscaping business, ostensibly to have a respectful career choice, but really he was using his landscaping tools to hide his victims' bodies before disposing of them. Yep.
Wood chipper.
I had a wood chipper and I got this ditch digger because I'm a landscaper.
By the summer of 1993, Joel had killed up to 17 women, most of whom were sex workers or drug addicts. And according to forensic psychologist and author Frank F. Weber, who I mentioned earlier, he theorized Joel preyed on sex workers because he thought his birth mother might have been a prostitute.
Oh.
According to Joel himself, though, his decision to target sex workers was strategic to avoid getting caught during his murder spree. And he said, quote, I killed prostitutes because they had no one. They had no lasting relationships, no family who cared, no one who would ever come looking for them.
And the police don't care.
I think a lot of prostitutes and homeless get targeted by murderers for that very reason.
Mm-hmm.
By serial killers for that reason.
Yep.
They just don't have, anybody.
It's like a pack of wolves looking for the deers. They don't get the biggest and the strongest.
Right. You go for the weakest.
That's right.
Exactly.
Stay tuned for next week's show. I have one exactly like that about a homeless victim. Yep.
Nice segue.
Yes.
Glad I could help.
Thanks.
Joel's final victim would become his undoing. It was June of 1993, and Joel strangled 22-year-old sex worker Tiffany Briscani, and then drove her body back to his family's home. He picked her up on Allen Street in Manhattan on June 24th, 1993. She was actually with her pimp and boyfriend, who was, Zig, you'll love this, punk rock musician Dave Rubenstein.
Dave Rubenstein. I gotta look that guy up.
Tiffany told Rubenstein that she was going and would be returned in 20 minutes. Along the way, Joel actually picked up a tarp and rope, and when he got to his house, he placed her wrapped body in a wheelbarrow in the garage, where it festered for about 3 days in the summer heat.
Ugh.
On June 28th, 1993, Joel was on his way to dump the corpse when police troopers noticed his truck lacked a rear license plate. They attempted to pull him over, and Joel panicked and led authorities on a 25-minute high-speed car chase that ended up with him crashing into a utility pole.
That would be Dave Insurgent with Reagan Youth.
Right.
Please continue.
So the troopers approached his vehicle, and they immediately noticed the rancid smell, and they quickly found Tiffany's body in the back of the truck. Sadly, partially as a result of her death, Dave Rubenstein committed suicide by overdose less than 2 weeks later.
Heroin.
While under arrest, Joel soon confessed to not only murdering Tiffany, but 16 other women, many of whom had been sex workers. At the time, making him the most prolific serial killer in New York history, and he was never on authorities' radar. He specifically killed women who were less visible in society. Most of the victims were never even reported missing, and so police were unaware of the scope of the killing spree. He was only convicted of 9 murders, but authorities feel relatively confident he was guilty of all the killings he confessed to, as he provided specific details and even created maps showing where he disposed of the bodies. Rifkin's other victims include Lauren Marquez, Mary Catherine Williams, Barbara Jacobs, Yoon Lee, Marianne Holloman, Leah Evans, Violet O'Neill, Mary Ellen DeLuca, Lorraine Orvito, Iris Sanchez, Jenny Soto, and Anna Lopez. And there's 2 other victims who remain unidentified to this day. Most of the victims did have concerned loved ones who were looking for them after they vanished. However, many of the bodies weren't recovered until after his capture, so police weren't making a connection in the cases. And he was also able to hide in plain sight because he changed up his MO, his modus operandi. He disposed of bodies all over New York State, from a Brooklyn Creek to an Orange County town. Some he hid in oil drums, others he put in blocks of concrete, or he sunk with blocks of concrete. Some he left abandoned in fields. Some were dismembers, and others weren't. Most killers, and especially serial killers, stick to one method of disposing of the bodies, but his mixture made it easier for him to go undetected. And we had that in an episode we did a long time ago for Israel Keys. He switched up how he did it, and it made him, it kept him free for a very long time. This is how it was for Rifkin too. Rifkin was asked if he had killed anybody else. And they said that Eugene Cochran, who was the state police lieutenant who supervised the investigation, said he kind of leaned back and said, "Oh, 1 or 100, what's the difference?"
Wow.
When they searched his home, they found all the evidence they needed. There was clothing, jewelry, driver's licenses, library cards, and credit cards belonging to approximately 10 women. With this information, they were identifying even more of his victims, and they also found the bloodstained wheelbarrow and chainsaw at his residence.
Chainsaw?
Yep. He used all kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah, he did.
In 1996, Joel Rifkin was sentenced.
Bones aren't easy to cut, man.
No. Joel Rifkin was sentenced to 203 years in prison.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Wow. I saw that number. I was like, 203 years? Wow.
Wow.
The New York Times reported that he did apologize for the murders at his sentencing and said, quote, "You all think I'm nothing but a monster, and you are right. Part of me must be." He's currently serving his sentence at the Clinton Correctional Facility in New York. He was originally sent to Attica. Prison officials decided in 96 that Joel was so notorious that his presence in the general population would be disruptive. So he was sent to Attica and confined to his cell for 23 hours a day. And he spent more than 4 years in solitary confinement. And then he was transferred to the Clinton Correctional. He did sue, arguing that his solitary confinement was unconstitutional. And in 2000, a state appellate court determined that prison officials had not violated his constitutional rights by housing him in isolation. And corrections officials also said that Rifkin was in prison with more than 200 other inmates at Clinton who were not allowed into the general prison population.
I'm sorry. Can we just say, aw?
Yeah, aw.
Yeah, dude, you're in prison. You've pretty much lost all your rights.
Exactly. That's exactly how I think too.
I mean, yes, there should be somewhat of a humane,
Hey, they fed him, and he had a place to sleep,
right?
And he had a bathroom facility.
Right.
That's all he needed.
Yep.
Yeah. He didn't think too much of his victims, did he? So
no, and since he's been locked up, he's done a number of interviews in which he's kind of given a little bit of insight into the mind of a serial killer. He had a 2011 interview with CBS New York, and he said it was very hard to stop killing people, and implied that murder for him was an addiction comparable to smoking. He said, quote, "You think of people as things." And he did admit that his victim count would have been likely much higher had he never been caught.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that goes without saying.
Mm-hmm. Despite his objectification of sex workers, he was ultimately proven wrong in his assumption that no one would ever care about his victims since they were prostitutes, as some of the victims' family members made a point to attend his sentencing, and a few prepared statements. Carol De Leon, the sister of one of Joel's confirmed victims, 24-year-old Iris Sanchez, said, quote, Iris was far from being perfect or an angel, but I will say that she did not have to die the way she did, strangled by the hands of Joel Rifkin, then dumped like garbage. Iris Sanchez will rest in peace in our hearts as of today, but you, Joel Rifkin, will now rot in hell. So I know that his crimes are very serious, but his name actually ended up being unexpectedly part of a plot line in Seinfeld.
Really?
Just 5 months after his arrest in 1993, Seinfeld aired an episode in which the character of Elaine is dating a man who shares the same name as the serial killer, and she begs him to change it because she doesn't want her boyfriend to have a murderer's name. Ironically, though, she eventually suggests that he change his name to OJ, which was 7 months before OJ Simpson would be accused of being murdered himself or being a murderer himself.
Sometimes Seinfeld gets funnier with age.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh.
There has been an independent film called Joel in 2018, which dramatized his life. More recently, in 2023, A&E released the special cold case files, The Rifkin Murderers, which features multiple never seen before interviews with him. It really makes you wonder by watching him, because I've watched this case, how he did his horrific crimes when he is such a calm, matter-of-fact person as he talks. It's very weird. It's very strange to watch him talk about the things that he did, and you just kind of wonder, was there anything that really could have ever been done to prevent him from becoming such a monster? You know,
probably the bullying.
Yeah, probably if that could have been prevented, because I do think that was probably the key.
They beat him into becoming a serial killer.
We've talked that many times, but
I do have to agree with that statement. In every school, somebody is bullied, and just as bad as that, and they don't all turn out to, I fell into that category too.
Yeah. So
I mean, maybe not quite to the extent he was.
No. And that's a problem. And honestly, there are adults there who could prevent that sort of thing.
Oh, sure.
I totally agree. Yeah.
But that's the story of Joel Rifkin.
Well, thank you for that, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you sticking around with me for that. I know some people can't stick around for some of the murdery, but there's others who love it and stick around for it. And I do appreciate Mike and Brenda being on with us. We love having them as guests. They're so much fun. We get into such conversations on this. If I can get Zig to do that greatest guitar solos, then I think we'll bring y'all back for that.
It would be Hold the Line, because that song is lame until that guitar solo, and that song is awesome. That is why.
All I know
think about that while you're putting your stuff together.
All I know is, well, number one, Eddie Van Halen has to be on that list.
And save it for the podcast.
And Randy Rhoads better be on that podcast.
Save it for the podcast.
List. I'm just saying.
So there you go, Zig. You've got your task in front of you to put together. I gave you my suggestions, so
yes, you did.
I gave you some of mine. And we'll go over those.
And I like the movie soundtracks too.
Yes, 100%. We've talked about that before. We need to do that. Is a top 10 movie soundtracks list, I think, would be a great idea. Great idea for an episode. So awesome. Well, that'll take us to the end of another recording week. Do want to remind everybody that Mike and his friend Steven do Two Geeks and a Microphone. Can't give them enough kudos for their show. I absolutely love their show. Do give them a listen. You can find them on just about every podcast platform that's out there, except for Google Podcasts, which no longer exists.
That hurt us too.
It's YouTube Music now. You can upload to YouTube Music now.
Really?
Yeah, you just put your RSS feed in YouTube Music. I've been researching it.
All right, you'll have to give me some more details on that, and because losing Google Podcast really hurt us on the audio side. Granted, we've kind of transitioned a little more onto the video side. We're doing YouTube and Twitch, and we stream on X and Facebook also. But we're primarily an audio podcast, so it really hurt me when I saw that number drop. I was like, oh man, this sucks. But so.
Well, go give them a listen. I like I said, we love their show. We've had crossover episodes with them, and we've had Mike on multiple times, and Mike and Brenda on multiple times. Always a great time. Hey, Mike, give a plug for Angie.
Oh yes, so we have as I like to call our spinoff show, Geek Girls Podcast. Angie and my daughter Megan. They do their own show on Friday nights, and they stream on YouTube, Twitch, I think X, and they're trying to get back on Facebook. Facebook put out a new rule that you have to have 100 followers, and they're not quite to 100 followers on their Facebook page. So please go over and give the Geek Girls Podcast a like and a follow, and help them get back onto Facebook.
Yep. It was on Facebook where I saw that, and so I wanted to give them a plug out there. So everybody go give them a listen, go give them a follow. So they're great to listen to on the show as well.
Zig's doing it now.
Don't mind me.
Hey, it doesn't matter when you do it. Just do it.
There you go. Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Well, thanks everybody for being a part of us. Thanks for staying tuned and listening to us. We really appreciate our listeners. As always, you can find more about us on nerderyandmurdery.com. That's our hub for everything that we talk about. You have links to the subject matter we're talking about, where we get our information, plus pictures. Plus, you can get the link to our YouTube page, which Zig so often updates.
That is right. And all of these songs are listed in our YouTube page. You can peruse them and listen for yourself and make your own decisions.
And give us comments. We love to hear about it. We love to hear what you think about it. Tell us if you agree with us. Tell us if you disagree with us. Tell us we suck. I don't care. You can tell us whatever you want. Just
I like to be told I suck.
Just spell your name.
It's irrelevant.
You can also find the link to our merchandise page, or if you wish to show off your Nerdery and Murdery fandom, please do consider purchasing something from there. That, along with our patrons, the link to our Patreon account, if you wish to donate to the show, help keep us on the air. There are costs that are associated with it. It doesn't go to our Lamborghinis, our fabulous houses, and our vacations that we never take.
Or Batmobiles.
And I stole the Lamborghini from Two Geeks and Microphones. So.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
I've transitioned to the Batmobile, though.
We don't have either.
Well, I have tons of Batmobiles, actually.
This is true. They're all about this.
That big? Hey, big.
That big to this big.
And I probably got a couple Lamborghinis about that size, too.
Yeah.
Last but not least, please don't forget to leave a 5-star review wherever you can. It really helps us and helps others find our content that may be looking for the subject matter we talk about. So with that, Mike and Brenda, you want to sign out?
I have been Mike from Two Geeks and a Microphone.
And I'm his wife.
I have been Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your murdery.
Cue the music.